Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute moan. And the topic of this 10-minute moan is again Carntyne and the ex-care home out there, which I covered in an earlier pod. So today what I done, I went out to the area because since putting out the video, a lot of people have came to me with different information. I've had residents contact me who have had emails back from local council. I've had people within city chambers come to me and want to speak off the record because of their concerns with what's going on at this care home on Edinburgh Road. So jumped in the car, took the camera out, I made the following piece. I also spoke to 4 local residents while I was in the area to get their feelings, and once you watch this, I'll explain to you what happened through those conversations. Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute moan, and the topic of this 10-minute moan is this ex-care home that I'm standing outside. Now, those who watch all my videos will be aware that I've done a video just last week about the ex-Alexander Court care home and the concerns the local people are having for this being turned into another asylum venue. And I've had many people contact me since then, and I've learned so much more about what's going on here. And the good people of Carntyne and local districts are having a public meeting on Tuesday to discuss their concerns and try and put an action plan together on what they can do. Unfortunately, I believe the decision has already been made on what's going to happen to this place behind us. Now let me just clarify what I'm actually saying here. In 2022, there was plans to turn this into a short-term accommodation, and the local residents stood up and showed their displeasure. They didn't know who was going to be coming into their communities, and thankfully at that point the decision was overturned. However, insiders from Glasgow City Chambers nonetheless came to me and explained to me at that time the Scottish Government took over the decision-making process because they disagreed with it. Now, the local council have already told us via the mainstream media that this building has got no legal reason to stop it being used as an asylum centre, and the reason for that is very simple. You cannot discriminate whether you house old people, young people, foreign people or homeless people. If you're allowed to house people here, it doesn't really matter what type of people you house here. The other thing that the local councillors are claiming, local residents have written to some residents who have contacted them by email, and I've had sight of these emails, and they make a claim saying that Mears Group, who run the asylum programmes, have no interest in this building. Now that may be true or it may not be true. I have not spoken to Mears or anyone else on that subject. However, if we consider it to be true, that doesn't mean that asylum seekers other immigrants could be here, because you have refugees, for example. That's a different programme. So although Mears look after the asylum seekers for Scotland, I believe Northern Ireland and parts of Northern England and Yorkshire, they don't look after every programme. There are from time to time specialist programmes for Syrians, Ukrainians, refugee programmes, and they're not always run by Mears. So to say Mears aren't interested in this is not the end of the story. That just means that Mears might not be interested in it. Hiya. Hi. Filming. What? You're on the telly. Aye. Right. So although Mears may not have any interest in this, that's not the end of the thing, because they only look after one part of this whole issue, which is the amount of immigrants coming to our country, putting these people, predominantly males, and that's the ones people are scared of. They don't want males, young males, in these places, in a place that's surrounded by residential properties and a primary school 1/3 of a mile here and another one half a mile down that road, which is surrounded by a park where you would imagine a lot of young men would go. So I hope the people in Carntyne are successful on Tuesday, have a good meeting, and they get what they're looking for, and that is satisfaction that they're not going to end up with loads of foreign men in their 20s in this building behind me. Cheers, pal. Sorry, that's me finished. The camera was there recording me. Okay, so the building you can see in the background there, that is the actual care home, or ex-care home as it is just now. And you can see the shared fence. These properties are all residential, privately owned, and that's their garden. And sharing a fence with them is this building that could potentially house hundreds of fake asylum seekers or immigrants, illegal immigrants. And as you can see, the size of this development is on, this is to the west side of the venue. And all these people own these houses and could potentially see their house prices greatly diminish and their quality of life greatly reduced. And I wish them well. So there you go, that's the sort of update as much as I know. There might be more information available through some of the efforts of the local community. And if I find more out, I'll do more videos on it. I'm also trying to rearrange my schedule to try and go to this meeting on Tuesday. I'll get the details and I'll put it in the comments for any local residents wanting to attend. And I'm keen to hear what is actually going on. If I can raise awareness of this issue, then I'll certainly do so. Help as much as I possibly can, because the problem, I believe, is that, people are concerned about their communities. And if people are honest, open and honest with them, at least they can then deal with it. But talking to people in the community today when I was out filming, I spoke to 4, all females. None of them were keen to go on camera, but I understand that. And their concerns are similar, and they're not all the same. I spoke to one woman who, she lives in the Partlands estate. That's the one where I've done this a second part from. And in fact, 3 of the women were from there. And she was saying, that the concerns are obviously, well, crime or antisocial behaviour. When you've got loads of 18 to 40-year-old men in the area, would that have a knock-on effect? And another thing that she brought up, which I thought I hadn't considered, was the house price. Was, it's a private house, and most of the people round about, although a lot of the houses are ex-corporation houses, majority, if not all of them, are privately owned now. But this whole estate are all privately owned houses. And she was like, well, what happens if the area does get affected? Will that affect the house prices? And you've got to use common sense and logic and unfortunately say yes. Another woman, slightly older woman, she was telling me that there's about 6 of her neighbours all in the same street who over the last few years have became widowed. And they are like, in normal circumstances, a wee bit more apprehensive. They're in a house themselves, they've been married most of their life, and now they're lonely. And they have fears for their own safety in their own house normally. And those fears are going up because they're thinking, well, who's coming to your area? So people need the answers. The other women, younger women, start my family, got a young family. She was explaining to me that she and her husband are ready to move house, and they're wanting to put their house up for sale, and that could affect them twofold. Well, there's the uncertainty of what's happening in the area, because her house is basically backing onto the property. Will she be able to sell her house? And if she is, will it affect the price of her house? And this is a very, very logical thing. Another lady who works was telling me that she's got a 17-year-old daughter lives with her, and she goes out during the day when the mum's at work, and she walks the dogs and things. And how safe would she be if this venue was to suddenly be inhabited by men 18 to 40-year-old? So that's the sort of concerns that these people have. Oh, and one of the women also was telling me there'd been building work going on, over the course of quite a long period of time, and the locals were inquiring to the builders what was going on, and they were saying they were getting it ready for change of use, and they were doing some work on it. Now, this property in 2022 was subject to an exercise where they were trying to change the use, and the locals kicked up a bit of a stink. So that was knocked in the head. So the fact that they'd been in for a long time, right up to, this woman reckons, about November, so probably about the last 4 months, finishing to make this thing change its purpose, that doesn't look good. Because why would you spend money on something that you couldn't use? So there's, in her opinion, a lot of work that's only ceased in the last 3 to 4 months. And my understanding is that in the last sort of week, I think it was about 24th April, round about then, there's going to be a sort of rubber stamp bang on this property, which the council have already told us they've got no legal reason to object to it, and the public will not be invited in to any debates about it, because it's a statement of fact that this place is now going to be changing its use, and the council are telling folk they cannot stop it. So if I was a betting man, although I do not know, I need to say this, I don't know what's going to happen with this property, but then either do, more importantly, the local residents. But if I was a betting man, I would be betting strong money that before the end of this year, that place will be used for a purpose that local councils are trying to tell folk it isn't. Also, from within city chambers, I was told that during the election campaigning, all the candidates were going up Chatham doors, and almost every door, what's happening with that building, and they were basically getting lied to. They were getting told that we don't know, when in fact they did, because the decision was practically made in 2022, but we'll fight very hard if that was the case, which they haven't, because there's nothing to fight, because the decisions are already made. So if you want this video to reach a wider audience, please do 3 things. Click the thumbs up, it's simple. Put some comments, take you seconds, and hit the share button and put it onto other social media platforms or WhatsApp groups, that sort of thing. So that would be fantastic. And I wish the good people of Carntyne and surrounding districts good luck with the battle they face. They're not trying to influence the decision, because I do genuinely believe the decision's been made. But I wish them good luck in getting it overturned, because that could happen. That's the only thing, in my opinion, will stop this place being used for the purpose that the owners want it to be used for. And if the good people can get together and cause some, people to think again, then that would be tremendous. And I wish them all the very best in doing so. So, the most important thing of all, unless you're the type of person that will not give good people in communities straight answers when they ask them simple questions that could affect their communities. No you. But
everyone else, have a great day. Cheerio, bye now.